Alright, so next what we are going to do now is halogens, group 17 of this block P, right? Now, when we are talking of group 17 over here, why first of all they are known as halogens? They are known as halogens because all these they are sea salt produce. ये सारे के सारे जो हमें मिलते हैं that is going to be sea salt produce, right? So सब sea से मिलेंगे. That is the reason why they are going to be known as halogens. When we are talking of halogens, we have the following. We have fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, and astatine. These are the halogens. Where astatine, this is going to be radioactive in nature. ठीक है? अब this group, it is going to have 7 electrons in the outermost shell. So when we are looking at the general electronic configuration, the general electronic configuration is going to be Ns2Np5. जब हम individual electronic configurations देखते हैं, तो fluorine has helium 2s2 2p5, chlorine has neon 3s2 3p5, bromine has argon 3d10 4s2 4p5, then iodine has krypton 4d10 5s2 5p5, and then we have astatine which is xenon 4f14 5d10 6s2 6p5. Now why are these going to be known as P block elements? Because the differentiating electron over here, that is going to enter into the P subshell. Then we have the physical characteristics of this block. The first one which we are going to discuss, that is physical state. जब हम physical state करते हैं, तो it is seen that fluorine and chlorine they are going to exist as gases. Fluorine and chlorine they are going to exist as gases. Bromine is going to exist as fuming liquid, right? Whereas iodine that is going to exist as a volatile solid. That is going to exist as a volatile solid. Now, why the physical state is changing? Because as we are traveling from fluorine to iodine, the size that is going to increase, and because the size is increasing, the forces, the van der Waals forces of attraction which are present, they are also going to increase. Therefore, the fluorine and chlorine is gases, whereas iodine that is going to be a volatile solid. Okay? Now, the second we have is atomic and ionic radii. Atomic and ionic radii. When we are talking of atomic and ionic radii, these have the halogens, they have the smallest size in the periodic table. ठीक है? सबसे छोटा size है, because if you remember, as we are going a longer period, the size that is going to decrease. So this is the last but one group over here, 18, that is going to be gases. So it has van der Waals forces of attraction, as a result of which उनका उसपे जो radii होता है, that is going to suddenly increase. ठीक है? फिर यहाँ पे smallest size तो ये है, but as we are going down the group, what is going to happen? The size is going to increase. So fluorine that is going to have the smallest size, then chlorine, then bromine, and then iodine. This is because of the introduction of new principal shell. This is because of introduction of a new principal shell. So if you're looking at the electronic configuration over here, we are filling up 2 over here, 3 over here, 4 over here, 5 over here, and 6 over here. So as a result of that, the size that will keep on gradually increasing as we keep going down the group. Now if we are looking at size of the ions, so it is seen that the size of the ion that is going to be greater than its respective atom. So same will happen if we're talking of chloride ion, or we're talking of bromide ion, or we're talking of iodide ion. In all these cases, the size of the anion is going to be larger. That is because of decrease in effective nuclear charge. So this we have already done in our class 11. Why this happens? Decrease in effective nuclear charge. Okay. Now the atomic volume, what will happen to atomic volume? Because the size is increasing as we are going from fluorine to iodine. So if size increases, volume is going to increase, and what will happen to density? Density should decrease. Okay. So as we are going down the group, density should decrease, but it is seen that the density will keep on increasing because the masses are also increasing. So masses का जो effect होता है, that is going to be much more than the change in effect of the volume. Therefore, density and volume both will keep on increasing as we keep going down the group. The second property is energy and stability of excess bond. Third is energy and stability of XX bond, right? Now as we are going down the group, the size that is going to increase. So with increase in size, what is going to happen? The bond length will increase, and as the bond length increases, the bond dissociation energy that is going to decrease. Less energy will be required to break the bond. So if you're looking at the bond dissociation energy over here, the trend should be that fluorine should have the highest value of bond dissociation energy, then it should be chlorine, then it should be bromine, and finally it should be iodine. But it is seen that this trend is not followed. The trend which is going to be followed is chlorine is going to have the maximum value of bond dissociation energy, uske baad bromine, uske baad fluorine, and then lastly iodine. Now why this is happening? This is because of the reason that fluorine that is going to have a small size. Okay, now because of small size over here, there is going to be certain inter-electronic repulsions which are going to take place. Due to these inter-electronic repulsions, the bond dissociation energy in fluorine that is going to be less, because already electrons they are repelling each other, as a result of which the electron cloud that extends to a little extent, और उसकी वजह से क्या होगा कि the bond dissociation energy of fluorine that is going to be less. This is an important trend question which can come in your competitions, because we always apprehend कि smaller size होगा तो क्या होगा, bond length कम होगी और bond dissociation energy ज़्यादा होनी चाहिए, पर यहाँ पे जो trend है वो follow नहीं हो रहा. So you be particular about this trend. This one is important. Then the next what we have is ionization energies. The fourth property which we are going to do. Fourth property is ionization energies. We know what ionization energy is. It is the amount of energy which is required to remove an electron from an isolated gaseous atom. When we are looking at the electronic configuration of halogens, the electronic configuration of halogens, that is Ns2np5. So as a result of this, because it needs one electron to come nearer or to attain a noble gas configuration, therefore the halogens they have a tendency to accept an electron rather than giving an electron, right? So that is the reason why we are talking of ionization energies over here. It is seen that they have very high ionization energies due to two reasons. The first reason is the smallest size. As we are going along the period, the size that is going to decrease, and because halogens, they have very small size, therefore the ionization energy is going to be very high. And second, because of electronic configuration of Ns2 Np5, where it becomes easier to add an electron rather than removing the electron. Now iodine over here, it has the lowest value of ionization energy. Therefore, it is possible to remove the electron. Why? Iodine will have the lowest value of ionization energy, that is due to greater size. As we are going down the group, the size that is going to increase. Okay? So because it has a larger size, it has low value of ionization energy. That is the reason why iodine can form compounds in positive oxidation states. Like for example, it has a tendency to form ICl, where the oxidation state of iodine, that is going to be taken as +1. Okay. Similarly, it also forms another compound in the positive oxidation state, that is iodine cyanide. So ICN, again the oxidation state of iodine over here, that is going to be +1. The next property which we are going to discuss, a very important property of halogens, that is electron gain enthalpy. Electron gain enthalpy. क्या होता है electron gain enthalpy? It is the amount of energy released when an electron is added to an isolated gaseous atom. ठीक है? That is what electron gain enthalpy is. Now when we are talking of electron affinity, also it is commonly known as, when we are talking of electron affinity in the periodic table, the halogens, they have the highest value. Highest value, that is due to the reason that it has the smallest size and the maximum value of nuclear charge. So because the nuclear charge in this case, that is going to be very high, as a result the incoming electron, that is welcomed by the halogens. So they have higher values of electron gain enthalpy. Now over here we have another different kind of a trend. In general, it is seen that the electron gain enthalpies, they should keep becoming less negative as we go down the group. It should keep on becoming less negative as we go down the group. But over here again there is an anomalous behavior. When we are talking of fluorine, fluorine has a less value of electron gain enthalpy with respect to chlorine. Henceforth, it will keep on decreasing as we are traveling from chlorine to iodine. Okay? So electron affinity should keep on decreasing with increase in size. Why? Because the outermost shell, that is going to become far away from the nucleus. So जो electron उसमें add करेंगे, that is not going to you can say have the pull of the nuclear charge on it. But fluorine unexpectedly has a lower value of electron gain enthalpy. The reason behind this is that again the size of fluorine is smallest. Due to small size, there are inter-electronic repulsions, right? So due to small size, they are going to be inter-electronic repulsions, due to which the incoming electron is not welcomed. Okay, so incoming electron is not able to enter the shell of fluorine, therefore it has low value of electron gain enthalpy. Then next we come to electronegativity, the sixth property. When we are looking at electronegativity, we know that electronegativity is the tendency to attract the shared pair of electrons towards itself. So smaller the size, greater is going to be the electronegativity. And in the periodic table, the halogens, they have maximum value. Halogens are going to have the maximum value of electronegativity due to their smallest size. The electronegativity will keep on decreasing as we keep going down the group. So fluorine, due to the smallest size, has the maximum tendency to attract the shared pair of electrons towards itself, and also fluorine is the most electronegative element of the periodic table, right? Now the difference over here between electron gain enthalpy or electron affinity and electronegativity is that in case of electron affinity, it is the energy which is released, whereas electron is added. So over here, if you are looking at the trend in both the cases, in case of fluorine, we are saying that it is going to have less value of electron affinity. That is because of inter-electronic repulsions. But over here, in electronegativity, it will purely depend upon the size of the atom. And it is a property. Okay. So, यहाँ पे वो क्या करेगा? Fluorine is going to attract the shared pair of electrons with much greater tendency because of smallest size. So fluorine is going to be the most electronegative element of the periodic table. Is it clear? फिर next हमारे पास आ जाता है 7th. That is color. It is seen that all the you can say halogens, they are going to be colored. For example, we have fluorine. Fluorine that is going to have a light yellow color. ये important है. What is the color of chlorine? ऐसे करके या fluorine ऐसे करके question आ सकता है. So fluorine is light yellow. Chlorine that is going to be greenish yellow. Greenish yellow. Bromine is reddish brown. And iodine is going to be deep violet. Iodine is deep violet. Now let's understand why this color is changing. Basically, when we are talking of color over here, the color is due to absorption of energy from the visible light. Okay? So what is going to happen over here is whenever any electron is excited to a higher energy state, it is going to absorb energy. And when it gets back to the lower energy state, it is going to release that energy, and that falls in the wavelength of the visible region. That is the reason why all the halogens, they are going to be colored. Now, as I just said, why from light yellow to visible? Now, it is seen that fluorine, it has a tendency to absorb the violet region of the violet color of the visible region. If you're looking at Vibgyor over here, we have, this is how Vibgyor is. Now violet that is going to have high energy and less wavelength. Okay, so if it is absorbing violet, it should either be orange, red or yellow. Okay, so now over here it is going to be light yellow in color, that is, it is falling in between yellow and orange. Similarly, when we are going to chlorine over here, chlorine that is, iodine is going to be deep violet, so iodine is going to absorb yellow and green color. So from this, it becomes clear that all those which are absorbing color in the higher wavelength, they are going to appear to us lighter, okay? And all those which are absorbing the color of lower wavelength, they are going to fall in the higher wavelength of UV of visible region, okay? तो जैसे इसे violet absorb कर रहा है तो वो yellow है, और ये yellow absorb कर रहा है तो this is appearing to us as deep violet. ओके, सो ज्यादा वेवलेंथ वाला एब्जॉर्ब करेगा तो कम वेवलेंथ वाला शो करेगा, और कम वेवलेंथ वाला एब्जॉर्ब करेगा तो ज्यादा वेवलेंथ वाला शो करेगा. सो दिस इज हाउ कलर इज गोइंग टू बी explained. explained. Now the change in color down the group that is known as blue shift. It is known as blue shift, or it is known as bathochromic shift. So this is the name which is given to blue shift or bathochromic shift. That is the change in color when we are traveling from fluorine to iodine. Okay? Next we come to oxidation states. Oxidation states. Now prevalently, because of its you can say electronic configuration as NS2-Np5, it should most probably show -1 oxidation state. Okay? But as we keep going down the group, the ionization energy is that is going to decrease. Therefore, the halogens they have the tendency to show positive oxidation states as well. Fluorine is the only element which is going to show only one oxidation state, that is of -1. Okay? Positive oxidation states वो नहीं show करता. So let's see what are the oxidation states they can show. We have -1, then they can show +1, they can show +3, +4, +5, +6 and +7. So these are the oxidation states which halogens can show. When we are talking of fluorine, fluorine is going to show only -1 oxidation state, that in compounds like sodium fluoride, NaF, or in OF2, okay? Or it can show -1 oxidation state in ClF3. Right? So it is going to show -1 oxidation state over here. +1 से लेके +7 तक fluorine cannot show any oxidation state. Next, then we come to chlorine. Chlorine shows almost all the oxidation state. -1 it can show in NaCl. It can show -1 in NgCl2. So all the chlorides, it is going to show -1 oxidation state. +1 oxidation state it shows in HClO. This is a chlorous acid which we will do later. Okay? It is going to show, and then it also shows +1 oxidation state in Cl2O. Okay? Then next we go on to +3 oxidation states. +3 oxidation state, I think this example should not come over here, because here we are not getting -1 oxidation state. So maybe this was a misprint. So you can rub this. Don't take this in that. Okay? +3 oxidation state में आएगा वो. ClF3. In the +3 oxidation state, then we have HClO2. Okay, so here also it is showing an oxidation state of +3, right? फिर उसके बाद it shows +4 oxidation state in case of ClO2. It shows +5 oxidation state in case of HClO3. Then it shows +6 oxidation state in case of Cl2O6, right? And +7 oxidation state in case of HClO4. Then next we go on to bromine. Bromine also shows almost all of the oxidation states, like if you're talking of -1, so NaBr it is going to give us -1. Then we have HBRO. HBRO में it is going to show us +1 oxidation state. फिर उसके बाद we have BRF3. Then BRO2 +4 oxidation state, and then we have BRF5 +5 oxidation state in case of BRF5. Then we have +6 oxidation state in BRO3, and it does not show +7 oxidation state. Okay? Then we go on to iodine. state in sodium iodide and AgI. Then we have HiO. Then we have ICl3 plus 3 oxidation state plus 4 oxidation state in I2O4. This is existing as a dimer over here. I2O4 plus 5 oxidation state in case of IF5. Right? Plus 6 oxidation state, it is not going to show. It does not show plus 6 oxidation state, but it shows plus 7 oxidation state in case of IF7. Right? So these are the oxidation states which halogens they are going to show. Now when we are talking of fluorine, fluorine does not have any empty d orbitals, we know. Therefore, it is not going to have any excited state in which it can extend its octet. So it does not show any higher oxidation states than -1. You can see over here it is showing only -1. When you're looking at the electronic configuration over here, this electronic configuration is helium 2s2 2p5. 2 does not have any d orbitals, so this cannot get excited to a higher energy level, or any of the electron from p cannot get excited to a higher energy level. Therefore, it will not show higher oxidation state. Is it clear? Then the next property which we are going to do, that is reduction potentials and oxidizing nature. Very important. Reduction potentials and oxidizing nature. When we are talking of reduction potentials of halogens, if you can co-link this with the EMF series which we've done in our electrochemistry, it is seen that all of these, they have a positive value of reduction potentials, as a result of which they all behave as oxidizing agents. And amongst these, fluorine, that is the strongest oxidizing agent in the periodic table. It is at the top of the series, so it is going to, it has a value of, I think, approximately E naught, that is plus 3.05 के करीब है इसका reduction potential, 2.98 or 3.05. So it has the highest value of reduction potential, so it is going to be the best oxidizing agent. Now over here, the oxidizing power, that will keep on decreasing as we are going from fluorine to iodine. So fluorine has the best oxidizing properties, then chlorine, then bromine, and last is that of going to be of iodine. Okay? Now basically the strength of oxidizing agent, that can be depicted on the basis of Born-Haber cycle which we had already done. So let's see what is happening over here. Initially, we are taking any halogen in the solid state. So half over here indicates that we are taking the atomic halogen over here. ठीक है? फिर ये this is going to convert into the gaseous, into the liquid state. So that is known as enthalpy of fusion. Okay? So we are saying that half of delta H fusion is going to convert this into half of X2 in the liquid state. Right? फिर उसके बाद it will convert into the gaseous state. That is going to be enthalpy of vaporization. So delta H vaporization to convert this into half of X2 into the gaseous state. Okay? Now here it is going to, when it is in the gaseous state, then after that it will go into the atomic form, giving us X negative ion. और यहाँ पे it is going to go into the hydration state, which is delta H hydration, to give us X negative in the aqueous state. ठीक है? And also it is seen that when X negative has been converted into the gaseous state from here, we have already seen that it is converted into the gaseous state over here. This is going to give us delta H hydration in the aqueous state. ठीक है? So we can directly go from here to here also. So basically when we are talking of the oxidizing properties, so we take the sum total of all the energies over here. What is going to be the sum total of energies? We have half of energy of enthalpy of fusion, ठीक है, plus we have half of enthalpy of vaporization, plus we have half of enthalpy of hydration. Yeah, you can take, we are dissociating this. If we are taking from here to here, then this will become equal to half of dissociation energy. ठीक है? So we have plus half of dissociation energy, right? Then it is going to gain electron to give us minus इलेक्ट्रॉन गेन एंथैल्पी. फिर उसको हम लोग किस पे डाल रहे हैं? वाटर में डाल रहे हैं. सो माइनस हाफ the full of hydration enthalpy. Right? So when we are taking the sum total over here, the more negative value of energy which we are going to get, that is going to give us greater value of reduction potential over here. It is seen that in case of fluorine has a very high value of enthalpy of hydration. Because of high value of enthalpy of hydration over here, the net result of E that is going to become the most negative in case of fluorine. Is it clear? So that is the reason why fluorine is going to be the strongest oxidizing nature. Now when we are talking of the oxidizing properties over here, the factors on which the oxidizing properties they are going to depend. Number one, it will depend upon low heat of dissociation of molecular halogen. So low heat of dissociation. This we have already studied just now, that fluorine that has a lower heat of dissociation, and the trend which we studied was chlorine की सबसे ज़्यादा, then bromine, then fluorine, and henceforth we are going to get iodine. Right? So fluorine has a low heat of dissociation over here, then high electron affinity of halogen atom. Now let's look at the trend of electron affinity which we just did. In that case, the electron affinity of fluorine that is going to be less than that of chlorine, then it is going to be greater than bromine and iodine. ठीक है? So fluorine is going to have a low value of electron gain enthalpy, and finally high hydration energy. So third is going to be high hydration energy. So we are looking at the trends of hydration energy over here. Fluorine F negative, that is going to have highest value of hydration enthalpy, and it keeps on decreasing as we keep going down the group. So if we are comparing the trends over here, in this the first and the third, they are going to favor fluorine becoming the best oxidizing agent. We have low heat of dissociation for fluorine, we have high hydration energy of fluorine, as a result of which the net value of energy over here that is going to become negative, and fluorine becomes the best oxidizing agent. ठीक है? And what about the reducing nature? Reducing nature, fluorine does not behave as a reducing agent at all. Remember this. ठीक है? So fluorine is not going to behave as a reducing agent at all. Otherwise, the reducing character keeps on as we keep going down the group. The reducing character will keep on increasing. So we have chlorine as the best, as the least. फिर उसके बाद bromine और उसके बाद iodine. Fluorine does not behave as a reducing agent. ठीक है? Then last what we are going to do is that is solubility. Last what we have, that is solubility. Now when we are looking at solubility, we say that all the halogens, they are going to be non-polar in nature. Okay, because they are all homoatomic molecules, so they are going to be non-polar. Because of their non-polar character, they are going to be insoluble in water. They are not going to dissolve in water, right? However, fluorine that reacts with water to certain extent, right? And it forms certain compounds with water of the type. If we have fluorine, we are reacting this with water, the compounds which are going to be, that is, the reaction proceeds by evolution of oxygen over here. Similarly, if you are taking the reaction in this sense, then we are going to get ozone. If we are taking excess of water over here, then we are going to get ozone. Chlorine and bromine, they are going to give yellow, brown and violet color. When we are saying that it is not dissolving in water, so rest of the halogens, they may dissolve in CS2 or they may dissolve in carbon tetrachloride. So whenever we are dissolving them, then it is seen that chlorine, as it is, it has a color of, it has a greenish yellow color. So as soon as we dissolve them in these non-polar solvents, they are going to give us, chlorine is going to give us a yellow color, bromine will give us brown, and finally iodine, that is going to give us violet color. Okay? So this is what we are going to do over here. Then we have another kind of solvents, if you are aware of. We also, these are known as protic solvents. Water is known as a protic solvent because it has H. These are known as non-protic solvents. Okay? Because they do not have H positive over here, so they are non-protic solvents. And this is known as a polar solvent. Water is known as a polar solvent. This is known as a non-polar solvent. Then we have another kind of solvents which are known as nucleophilic. This is the third type of solvents. You must not have heard its name. They are known as nucleophilic solvents. Like we have alcohols and ketones. Okay? Nucleophilic solvents are going to be alcohols, ketones, liquid sulfur dioxide. Right? So in this case, when we are dissolving the halogens in nucleophilic solvents, they are going to produce brown solutions. They are going to produce brown solutions, that is due to complex formation which is going to take place over here. Right? Now when we are looking at why this is happening, because we are taking a nucleophilic solvent, it means it is going to have a lone pair of electrons. Like if we are looking at alcohols, alcohols has the structure C2H5 ONH. Because of the lone pair of electrons, it can easily form coordinate bonds with halogens. ठीक है? फ्लोरीन नहीं बनाएगा, फ्लोरीन नहीं बनाता है coordinate bond इसके साथ, because fluorine does not have empty d orbitals. Rest of them are going to form. Same is the case if you are taking acetone over here. So acetone will also have a lone pair of electrons, CH3C double bond O CH3. Okay, so this is all what we are going to discuss today. In our next lesson or next lecture, we are going to go on to the chemical properties of halogens. ठीक है?